Hey everyone, it's Jen with Spirited Saturdays, except it's Wednesday. So thank you, Ariel, for letting me share your day with you. I'm sorry that I didn't get to make my video on Saturday, but I definitely wanted to get around to making it sometime this week because it's such an important topic. So here I am. The first funny thing I want to say is that when I was typing in the title for this video, or like the file name, and I was trying to type in writing because that's what the video was about, I misspelled writing, so I thought that was a great omen for starting to make the video. I spelled it, I left out the W, so that probably shows you what kind of caliber video this is going to be, but it's going to be from the heart, which is supposed to be imperfect, so let's go with that. Yeah, so this week we are talking about writing, and as an art form and as an outlet. And I have so many thoughts about writing because I've always considered myself the well, somebody who writes and somebody who makes music. Those have always been the top two things that I kind of have identified myself with since I was a little girl. And thankfully, they've been consistently with me as I've gotten older, and I feel very kind of blessed in a sense that I personally never had to look for the thing that really made me tick. And what I would like to do with that is encourage you to find what makes you tick. And the thing about writing is that anybody can do it. And it's not that anybody can't do any of the other art forms, but writing is different because you don't need, first of all, we all know, except me in this moment, how to formulate a full sentence. We all have learned, from very young how to speak, how to formulate words, how to create pieces of even short nonfiction. We were learning to write about ourselves in school. We learn basic writing skills. So we all have that as a basic tool that's ingrained within us. And it's about how free we let ourselves become with it. And this is not to say that you have to do something that you see as that needs to be judged. That's the number one thing, is this is not about judging. This is about just using that tool that you have been taught, that has been wired in you, that you've learned from basically birth, to associate things around you as symbols, and it's the symbol being language, and the use of a pen to paper or typing on a keyboard. Everybody can put those things together and formulate a creation of something. And it's about how free you let yourself be with that, and how much you allow it to flow, and how you kind of break through the blockages, because that's often what it is. It's often about blockages, and it's often about censorship and judgment before you even realize that you're judging yourself. So it's all about confidence, having the confidence to just let yourself be. You don't have to show anybody else what you write, so don't worry about judging yourself. Just journaling. And the other thing I want to say about writing is that it's the easiest possible, the most accessible art form that there is. All you need literally is a pen or a pencil and anything to write on. So if you're ever at a loss and you need something, you need an outlet, you need to direct your feelings towards something, and you don't have any art supplies on hand, or you don't have any musical instruments on hand, if you're talking about like creating, if you don't have a camera to take pictures, or things that require tools and instruments and all that, you can pick up a napkin. You can do that. And if you have a laptop, or if you have a computer, you could do it directly onto the computer. It's so easy. Even with the computer, it's super easy. You don't even have to have an internet connection to do it. So you can be all by yourself in a place that doesn't have Wi-Fi. Sad situation, I know, but if you find yourself in that situation, you could still go on like Microsoft Word or whatever and just type on there and just let it out. And the thing about there are so many different ways to go about doing this. You could give yourself like leads, like open-ended questions, and just let it go. I actually took a recovery yoga class with Robin Hussa in mental fitness, which used to be Normal, and we did not which used to like the organization didn't used to be Normal, like it was called Normal, but now it's mental fitness, and it's better than never mind. Anyway, so we did these journal exercises where she would just basically give us like leads, like themes, and ask us to basically put the pencil, we had a pencil, not a pen, put it to paper and just not lift up the pencil for 2 minutes straight or for 5 minutes straight. And there's something in the action and the motion and the texture of the pencil to the paper as it keeps going continuously. That is therapeutic and healing in and of itself. So if you just let it go, don't censor yourself, don't watch your words, and you just keep going, then you will definitely get benefits from that. And if you do this on a regular basis, it will be very beneficial to you. The other thing is that there doesn't have to be a theme, there doesn't have to be a lead or a word. It could be just literally putting your pencil and just going. And don't worry about writing anything in particular. Don't worry about it sounding right or sounding good. Just literally the first thing that comes into your head. Don't even process it in your head. Just let it go straight from, you know, your heart or the ether or whatever it is, to the paper, and let that flow. And then, you know, what we did in the class, in the group, was, you know, there was a timer, so, or she stopped us after a few minutes. So if that helps, time yourself and stop after however much time, and then just take it in and give yourself a chance to read back what you wrote. That's one way, one kind of structured way you could do it, but it doesn't have to be that structured. You could just sit for however long you want and just write. I mean, the best thing for me to do is when I'm really stuck in my head, which actually I was a lot today. I was having like a lot of head stuckness going on, and I just felt this overwhelming urge all day to just sit and write. And I had this one sentence that I knew I wanted to write, but I had no idea what was going to come after it. But I knew there was like a flood waiting to happen. And when I came home and I started doing that, all that mattered was that. And it was so about being in the present with that and just letting it flow, letting it go and go and go and go and go, and really focusing on what I wanted to be saying. This wasn't journaling, so this was like trying to write a piece. So, you know, I was really focused on how I wanted it to come across to myself, just how I wanted it to be. And when I was done, I knew I was done, you know, for the moment anyway. And it felt good. And by the time I was done and when I was done, I felt completely relieved of the other feelings that had been going on. Like I guess I had completely redirected them and freed myself of them by way of doing that without even trying, without even purposefully resisting them or trying to make them go away. I just literally took them and applied them to something else, and that absolutely had a profound effect. So I totally suggest doing that, whether it's journaling or poetry or prose or an essay or an article on something you're interested in and want to research, or anything that fascinates you. You can write about. You can gather other people's opinions and form your own, and, you know, then you can put it out there, you know, if you want to, and other people can see it. And it's very important in any kind of healing process, to have witnesses, to be witnessed, to have other people see have other people kind of bear witness to your creation or your process. It can be important. It's not always necessary, but being witnessed can be very therapeutic and can be very, very validating. If it's something that helps you, then definitely seek it out. So if you post something on a blog and then you want to share it on Facebook, you could get feedback, and just hearing that other people have read it, and seeing that they've read it and seeing their initial reactions can be very validating and very reinforcing, and just make you feel positive about it and make you feel heard. and that's very important. So like I said, it doesn't have to be that way. You don't have to share it with other people, of course, but it could be helpful in certain contexts. And so, yeah, there's poetry, there's journaling, there's um, all sorts of things. I mean, I write songs, and I wrote a book about recovery, which is going to be released in a couple of weeks now, and it's all about metaphors. It's all about like the different metaphors as they apply to different aspects of the recovery process. So for me, what was very helpful about writing this was thinking of ways that I could describe recovery, which was an interesting challenge, without talking about the specifics of the eating disorder the whole entire time, like the literal eating disorder. How could I describe it in a way that was accessible to just anybody, people who didn't understand, or people who've had different stories who needed like a universal platform to just relate to one another? How could I do that? And like anything, I mean, it was a creative challenge, and it was really engaging. I was so engaged in the process. Um, I was intellectually stimulated, I was emotionally stimulated, I was emotionally charged, and I was completely and totally in the present. So that is what writing does. It can keep you focused, locked into the present. And really could be any, I mean, you can try writing a song, you can try writing yeah, just any stream of consciousness, just anything. And if you want to, you can put it on a blog, or you could just have it kind of randomly. It helps sometimes to have it in a place all together. So um, definitely something that has helped me. So that is my bit about writing, and of course there's music, but that's a whole other video. So yeah, so thank you for watching, and I hope you have a great week, and I hope this helped. Okay, bye.